you mind if I ask how the economics work for the host? Like, do you get a percentage of the table, a percentage of the bar? Do you work on tips? And by the way, this is super secret, top secret stuff.
No. Okay. How hosts get paid is I'm salary plus commission. Okay. So depending on the day and who's performing is what that percentage base is off of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we get paid. And yeah, that's really it.
Okay. Percentage of the tables.
Percentage of the table.
Got it. So you log people in, and then end of the night, you're like, sweet, they spent 20 grand.
Cha-ching. Yeah, right. I'm like doing math in my head.
You're like, wow, that was a good sale.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really how we make our bread and butter. So
what's the craziest thing you've seen with clients, and what's the most frustrating thing? Like, do you have people just like stiff you, or their credit card gets declined, or they're a no-show or whatnot? And then like, what's the most exciting thing where you're like, oh, that was cool, I just printed money tonight?
Yeah. Honestly, I really haven't had too many frustrating, there's obviously been, I had an 8K cancel on me, Swedish House Mafia night. That's obviously a huge blow, for someone like anybody really, honestly. Yeah. Big host, small host like myself, just getting their feet in the game. An 8K hit is a big hit. That sucks. And that sucks for anybody. But I feel like in my first year, I've had a ton of great success.
Nice.
Thank God, it's really just been, it was a good first year, I think. Some of my biggest customers are now friends. I would consider friends. They're coming back out. I just talk to them. Yeah. Talk about cars, talk about watches, talk about life,
Yeah.
And that's so cool. I think the coolest experience I had is, just people going big, and like, there's nothing cooler than that. I remember going to the podium one night and I was like, hey, like, can we please just do a low minimum? I know this guy's going to spend, please just, can you make this happen? And they're able to make it happen. We were able to put him on 805. I'd have to show you a map, but he was on table 805, ended up moving to 803, which is closer to the stage. And then from 803, by the time he was on 803, I'd ordered 3 liters of PJ Blanc de Blanc. I couldn't tell you what the bottle cost, but it's unreal.
Not cheap.
By the time, long story short, by the end of the night, his tab was like 70-something thousand, which is insane for one night. Like, unreal experience. It was mellow night swim. Like, what? It doesn't get any cooler than that. Just unreal experience. Something like is unreal.
70 G's in one night.
70 grand in one night. That's pre-tax gratuity venue fee. So 10K, for instance, like back to this 10K number, it's 10K before tax gratuity venue fee. Yeah. That's roughly 36%.
Okay. So you end up spending 14 grand.
Yeah.
Whew.
So so there is that on the back end. So that's my spiel is like, hey, just so you know, like, it's a 5K minimum, 10K minimum. There's tax gratuity venue fee not included in that, just so you know. So there's that.
That's nice of you to tell them up front, because I would be a little bitter if I was like, hey, man, keep us at 10 grand, and then it comes and it's like 14 grand. I'm like, oh,
I feel like if you don't, that's just like a bummer. And it's almost like being dishonest almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, now I have to pay this. Like, we already divvied up 10K. Now we have to divvy up 14.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. There's that.
Obviously, there's the, XS Encore Beach Club. They're the best in town. I don't have to say it for you. Don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. That the Wynn's just, to me, it's the best casino in town.
I agree.
Service, staff, everything. So obviously a lot of that sells itself, right? And then the DJs, they kind of sell themselves. People want to see Diplo. They want to see Kygo. They want to say Marshmallow. But how much of it is also you marketing yourself, either staying top of mind through text message or Instagram? Because I can remember, like, one of the top 5 nights of my life were at the Hakkasan at MGM like 10 years ago, and we saw Tiesto, and it was super cool, super crazy. I couldn't tell you the guy's name who hooked us up. And by the way, he was like a friend of a friend. He got us a really good deal. We tipped him. Like, we took very good care of him. Couldn't tell you his name. He hasn't made a point to stay in touch. Maybe he's in my phone somewhere as like, Charlie Vegas or Charlie MGM or something.
Totally.
But how do you continue to like market yourself to get the repeat business?
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, just reaching out, staying on my phone, taking really good notes. One of the greatest mentors I have at Wynn, and I'm so grateful to have him in my life, is Bryce Giorgio. He's another just monster in the nightlife industry. I think that's why I think our young guys are so successful. When I mean young guys, like junior hosts, new guys to the game, is so successful, is our leadership team. I can't say enough good things about him. Our director at XS, Trevor Pickering, amazing guy. Sammy Maselli, director at EBC, unreal. If you have any sort of question or trying to just learn or any pointer they can see and give you, they give you. Bryce Giorgio, like I mentioned, he's on our customer development team. Just the way he organizes his phone is crazy.
So when you say take notes, like what are you doing? Like, all right, so you meet Scott Groves. I tell you we're coming to a mortgage conference. I hook you up with one of my buddies, Mike, and Mike's like, hey man, I got to take out all these recruits. We're going to go hard in the paint. It's on the company bill. Like, what do you do? Do you have a CRM you put them in? Do you like?
No, it's just all in my phone. So like, for example, I'd be like, oh, Scott, like, of course I'm not just going to like hit you with this random, right? Like I'm going to talk to you either on property or we'll figure something out to where I can get the ball rolling and have a genuine conversation. I feel like that's how you retain customers and just people. It's not this, and I feel like this is with life itself. Is like it's not a customer. It's a real relationship we're building. It's not you're buying this and I'm selling it to you. And I feel like that's when it's just a one trip. Cool. Thanks. I'm gonna find another host the next time. I'm gonna Instagram search Las Vegas host. Wynn Nightclub and try and figure it out. I think that's how you retain that business is by having genuine conversation. Maybe we start talking about football and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a big Rams fan or big LA fan.
Right.
I like the Chargers when they were in San Diego, but they're in LA. That's whack, whatever. And then, Scott likes the Chargers. When the Chargers start playing, I'm for sure going to hit you home and be like, hey, did you see that game today? And
or hey, the Chargers are coming into town to play the Raiders.
At Wynn Field Club. Come see it at Wynn Field Club.
Nice.
Only place in the world with a nightclub in the stadium. Literally the only place you can do it is Wynn Field Club. And that's another one of my biggest spenders, $50K at Wynn Field Club. Unreal. For his son's 21st birthday. So cool. Coolest guy in the world. Just want to do something cool for his son. How cool is that? Like being able to experience that with your dad. Could you imagine? That's unreal. Yeah. So like that to me is so cool.